Gottlieb with another guest-listed guitar for the Boston Herald. This time with Matt Girard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
I have had this bass for a while, and I almost never play it. This Seeger Tennis of Mellow Bravo actually put this sort of Frankenstein thing together. Nice. And I like to play bass with people that are like pretty bad guitarists, but better than me.
Okay.
And when they do, I just play the root the whole time. So, I do not do anything beyond more dynamic than that. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to move a little beyond this, I need to not just
play the roots,
the chord.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
But I mean, some of the great bass lines are just root motion.
That's
so,
true.
I think,
That's
and
true.
it really really depends on the music style that you want to play. So, I mean, punk rock would not be punk rock if it was not playing
That's right.
every single
That's
root
right.
note.
That's right.
And a lot of it is trying to make the decision about how do I want to use this instrument to approach the style of music that I'm playing.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
I mean, the thing that the bass gets a lot of flack because everyone's like, oh, it's so easy, man. You only got 4 strings. It's like, it's not like guitar, you got 6 strings, or you got drums, you got to hit a bunch of stuff at once.
Right.
You only got to hit like, yeah, all right, there's music. There's music happening right now.
Exactly. That's me.
And
that's what I do.
to a degree, yeah, that's, the bass really serves a really integral function in popular music.
Yeah.
There's this book that I read. It's how the Fender Bass changed the world and I think it's the world or changed popular music.
Yeah.
And it really goes through and describes how popular music functioned very differently until the Fender Bass. Because electric bass used to be called the Fender Bass because Leo Fender developed the real first Fender bass, electric bass. And so it described how like R&B, so the whole Motown sound.
That's when I think of Motown, I think of the Fender bass.
Well, because you have to, because one of the greatest bass players, James Jamerson, ever played the Fender bass. Yeah. So like if you think of My Girl, that's like a classic Jamerson line.
Yeah. Simple and perfect.
But very simple.
Yeah.
And this, actually, that's a perfect example of how you can use the bass to not just reinforce like the root notes, but he's just taking a simple arpeggio and just go do, 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 do. Sorry. So he's just taking this root, second, third, fifth, and then dominant 7, back to the root. Very easy, like a cool, simple bass line.
Yeah.
It's really easy to learn.
Yeah.
So that's a way, just learning all of your chords and your arpeggios is a really cool way to just say, all right, well, if I don't want to play the root on everything, I can just play, the root. And that's probably a slightly cooler bass line than.
Yeah.
But there's also
adding
other things.
Right, adding a little nuance to it.
And the great thing about kind of pulling back from that, the stereotype of we give the person who doesn't have any music ability the bass, because they just have to hit one note.
Yeah.
Is that as a bassist you have so much freedom. To augment the harmony of what's happening in a song. So, like a thing that I love doing, like one of my favorite things to do is pedaling on one note while the chords change over it.
Okay.
So like a big thing is certainly like you can pedal on like an E, like, and you can have like dun 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 dun, to try to illustrate there's a change happening over it.
Yeah.
But you're constantly able to create new harmony by just pedaling on literally one note.
Yeah, but against that E.
Like a bass player that I really like and who really doesn't do all that, who isn't really that complex, is like Adam Clayton from U2. And I'm not the biggest U2 fan,
Yeah.
but like the types of things he does, really, they're nothing super complex.
Yep.
It's all relatively simple. But it really holds down, especially because if you want to use talking about U2, they have all this other stuff.
Yeah.
All this crazy stuff happening.
Right.
And like the bassist job in that band is to try to hold everything down and be as much of a rhythmic center as the drummer is. That's, sometimes discipline of like reminding, okay, your job is to reinforce the rhythm and the harmony of this song. And not a soloist. I'm not ripping out. So like using, like that's moving a little bit beyond like using it. You can build riffs out of the basic chord tones and then you can just sit on that the whole time. I think the biggest asset of a bass player is to have a good pocket with the drummer and to know, okay, well, what are they doing on the kick? Am I playing with the kick or am I playing off of the kick?
Okay.
Because sonically, they're both low end. That's like they roughly occupy the same frequency spectrum. Obviously, the kick is more percussive, so it has a chance to cut through more. But if you want to go down to like the fundamentals are roughly 50 hertz for both. Stuff gets really muddy down there really easily. It's really important to also be aware of what the drums are doing. Like when I'm playing riffs, so I want to anchor my thumb on the back of the fret. So that way I have a really arched hand. So some of this comes from upright technique. So you have a lot of flexibility to be really fast.
To move around,
and you can switch positions very quickly because your thumb isn't has so much surface area on it. And then when you're trying to do things like this, you just have a greater reach. When you're like this, it's like literally.